Yeah, video 4 years ago about the must-haves in a home theater. Kscape and video. Yep. They are still the 4 must-haves. But the one caveat is you can take a subset of those if you want, and there are a couple of replacements that are pretty equivalent, right? So today, the 2 that I use almost 100% of the time now, I really pretty much just use those are Kaleidoscape and NVIDIA Shield, right? Those are the ones that I consume almost all my content. All movies pretty much come from Kscape, and then all streaming, mostly just TV show kind of stuff, is off the Shield. Now, the Shield, you could use an Apple TV 4K new version for, right? They're pretty close. If you want to run Plex, though, I don't think that'll run on the Apple TV. So the Shield is where that's going to live at. And Plex was just at CES too, and they're making a big push now, right? So they're trying to become, I guess, maybe change their image just a little bit, because people still associate Plex quite a bit with, let's download some MKV files and watch it, right? And let's steal all the content and that kind of stuff. But there's completely legitimate set of customers that, buy discs and rip them and use this to watch things easily, right? But they're trying to become more of or add in functionality that allows them to help people stream content. So you log into Plex and then you tell it all the content that you like. And then when new episodes are released, it'll say, hey, this new one's, out, push the button. It'll take you to HBO Max or whatever, and you can watch it. And it kind of keeps track of all your streaming stuff, because it is a pain in the butt, because half the time I don't know what streaming service the show is I want to watch on. I can't find it. And then something I'll want to see, I don't know where it's at anymore. And I'll, start Googling for it. So this is supposed to help you with that type of viewing environment, right? Of course, all the other stuff's there as well. And they were showing that off at CES. That's their big push. And I'll make some content around that here pretty soon. I think it's still in beta, but it looks pretty promising. But to go back to the question, those 2 are my primaries. Then you get into a dedicated file player. And if you are big on playing files and you don't want to be in the Plex ecosystem, Zapedia and Zadoo are my 2 go-tos outside of that. And I've owned both of the boxes, and they're both great. I think there was another question. What did I think about the Zadoo version, whatever? They're all wonderful. I mean, the UHD 3000. What I think is I wish I had one, and I don't. But I think it's a great box from what I hear. And then the one thing that I never use anymore is a Blu-ray player. I don't have any new physical media. I've just got the stuff that I've had from years past, and I'm not buying new discs at this point. So all new movies that I buy are all coming on Kaleidoscape.
Yeah, I echo that sentiment. For video, it's 2 pillars for me. Kaleidoscape as well. I go Apple TV over the Shield, just because I'm an Apple ecosystem kind of whole hog, Mac, iPad, iPhone. And so Apple TV fits into that so well because of the extra services and features and enablements and stuff that it gives you. And aside from Kaleidoscape, I buy digitally, mostly on iTunes, again, in the same in the same ecosystem. Yeah, I haven't had a disc player, dedicated disc player, in I don't know how long. And now I don't even have the ability to play a disc attached to either of my home theater spaces since getting rid of the Xbox Series X and just kind of keeping the PC.
Yeah, I don't have one. So I've got 2 spots where, well, 3 spots, but 2 spots where we primarily watch television. And I still have a Panasonic in the theater downstairs, but in the living room, we don't have any way to stream at all, or I'm sorry, to play disc at all. The only thing we have in there is a NVIDIA Shield, and we watch all content off that in that room.
Yep, same.
So there you go. Those, that still holds pretty much true. You just need to decide how you want to consume your content. If you want to consume off disk, then that would take the place of the Kaleidoscape, right? Those 2 pieces are kind of interchangeable. And if you don't want a dedicated file player, then you could do that with the the NVIDIA Shield can do it for you. And then I've not used the Apple TV enough to feel comfortable with it, but can you have it play MKV files and stuff like that?
Yep. Yeah, I have a Synology with an 8-bay that's half filled and
Cool.
still pretty loaded with a decent amount of ripped content and stuff. Plex is there. It's a little limited in a couple specific ways compared to doing it on the Shield. The big hole is you don't get to bitstream Atmos and DTSX audio, so you lose that. But when I do play stuff that I have ripped in Apple or on the Apple TV, I tend to use Infuse, which is like an Apple ecosystem, kind of specific, something of a equivalent to Plex. Point it to your network share where all your rips are, and it'll index them and pull the metadata and give you, cover in metadata based movie library access and all that. But I think they do a really great job in the Apple platform of supporting pretty much everything that Plex does. It's still limited because of the box to not be able to bitstream the lossless Dolby Atmos and DTSX, but any critical, I would say, viewing that we do nowadays, and in the theater is on the Kaleidoscape. So if I'm watching something for a rip, even if it had Atmos, I'm fine to go without it for the simplicity of having one box